Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another video with Swaggle. Well, here we are once again on the con floor, this time at Near Mint Sundays, and I thought it would be an interesting video to go around the show and talk to a lot of different collectors and dealers and get their perspective on the market of 2022. You know, obviously with everything going on in the global economy, recession, inflation, the buying habits I feel like are a little bit different, in this year compared to last year. And I wanted to get some real boots on the ground opinions from collectors and dealers of how they feel like this market is going to be affected in 2022. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video and let's hear what these collectors had to say. All right, well, I'm with Harry from Finest City Comics. Harry, how's it going?
What's going on?
Yeah, so I've been going around the show kind of asking different collectors, some dealers and stuff. Just, obviously we're kind of moving into more of a global economy, recession. Yep. Bear market, things like that. Not just comic books, but everything. What's kind of your feeling as someone who sells a lot of comic books, you buy a lot of comic books? Yeah. Has your buying changed, or are you having a different kind of outlook in what you're looking to buy in the next few months? What's your thought process on that?
So I feel like comic books, they had a little extra oomph to them since the pandemic, and it looks like some of the froth has come off the top. I don't feel like that necessarily if we go through an economic recession, it's going to have a dramatic effect on comic books and the collectibles market. It's definitely going to slow things down a little bit. Right. But I feel like the community is still very strong. There's still a lot of value. And I just feel like this is a good place. We needed this. We needed a little bit of a pullback in order for people to come back into buying. Right. I have definitely noticed some changes in people's spending habits and choosing what they're choosing to buy. Right. Yeah, we're definitely. We're at Near Mint Sundays. Smaller show. So still a decent amount of people. Still, yeah, definitely. But what have you noticed? What are people kind of more focused on right now? I've definitely noticed that people are being a little more selective with their keys. Definitely, that seems to have been some things that have changed a little bit. I've noticed with the buyers. But overall, I don't feel like much has changed. Right. It looks like everybody's still kind of doing the same kind of digging. The same kind of books are still moving that are and things that cool off are doing the normal cooling off process. Right. So,
what are you feeling about kind of what would the spec-ish type things? Obviously, at the time in recording this, we got Thor: Love and Thunder coming out. Do you feel like the chase for whatever is the hot thing in front of us is slowing down, or do you think it's still...
No, that's always going to be here.
Still there.
It's still here. You know what? It gets hot for a little while. Things are going to cool off. So it's your job to figure out when to come in and when to get out. That's really, if you don't want to get hurt on prices. So that's something you should educate yourself, do some due diligence on comics and speculations. But it's always going to be there. Whatever's hot today might not be hot tomorrow, but then there'll be something new, and it's constantly going to change. Yeah,
and then for all the buyers out there, what would you say from a seller's perspective? You feel like make some offers, maybe get some good deals? And
Definitely. If you ever go to a Comic Con or any kind of event, always come in. You don't have to pay the sticker price. Almost no dealer is going to, be firm on the sticker price. So, talk to them, open up a discussion, and then, make some offers. We're all here. We all want to move some books. Yeah. That's why we come out to these things. So, find that grail, get that book.
Yeah. All right. Well, Harry's going to give me 50% off of all his wall books right now. So thanks so much, Harry. Appreciate it.
You got it.
All right. All right. I'm with Steven from Comics and Bonics. Steven, what's going on, man?
Hey, I'm doing well, Swaggle. Thanks for having me on the channel. Big fan, and I'm happy you're here today.
Yeah. We're at Near Mint Sundays. Definitely go check out Comics with Bonics after this video, of course. Yes. But Steven, I've been going around the show, talking to different collectors, talking to some of the dealers, and basically just been asking them state of the economy, state of the world, bear market, going into maybe a recession with a lot of different things. As a buyer, as a collector, what's your outlook for these next 6 months to a year? Have your priorities shifted? What are you still looking to buy? Are you still buying? Are you on the sidelines, wait and see approach? What's your overall feeling right now?
Yeah, so a little bit about me. I've been back into the hobby about 3 years now. When I got back into the hobby, just started it kind of snowballs really quick for me. So after about 2 years, I started hunting down big, huge grails, and that started about 2020-ish,
Right.
which was a great time for me to hunt grails. So
Yeah, that was a good time to buy.
yeah, it was amazing. And once 2021 hit, I saw that the market was at a point where I felt like I wasn't comfortable paying the prices that I was seeing. So I pulled back a lot. I probably bought maybe 2 or 3 books all year, 2021. But 2022 is a different story where I'm starting to see it pull back to where the prices where I felt it was a good investment. For me, it's mostly for the love of the hobby because I really love to collect Silver Age Marvel. So those big first appearances, those are the ones I go after. And I've picked up quite a few this year so far, but I think the main goal this year for me, personally for me, is what I've seen is people are more willing to allow you to upgrade. Like, for example, just recently I upgraded one of my favorite books, which is Giant Size X-Men. Hopefully you guys will see a video on that one pretty soon. But I upgraded Giant Size X-Men. I didn't think that Giant Size X-Men #1, I didn't think that was an easy thing to do in 2021.
Right.
But this year I felt it was sellers are a lot more flexible, which I feel like that's a huge difference from this year than last year. Sellers were not willing to negotiate last year. It was a seller's market. Not a lot of buyers can trade up to the grails that they wanted. But this year, I feel like that is a big thing that buyers can do, is to trade up to their copies that they want or to the books that they want.
Right. So using like the corrected prices as an opportunity to either trade for the books you want or to take advantage of some of those dips and things like that.
And what I also see is if you guys work with dealers, they have a huge book that's like 10,000, 15,000. They're more open to trading 5 books or 10 books that equal that trade value.
Really?
Yeah, and I feel like they're a lot more open to doing that than they were 2021.
Yeah, because usually people want to get the less books when they make a trade, right? Because they want that higher premium book. But now it seems like that's going to be a harder book for them to sell.
Yeah.
So they'd rather have 5 keys that they can move more easily.
There you go. That's
right.
exactly what it is.
Right. And so actually, Steven, you were set up here today.
Yes.
You were selling a couple comic books. Just from a seller's point of view, what have you noticed in terms of the buying habits of people? Were people going after the wall books? Were people looking at those dollar bin books? Like, what did you feel?
And you probably noticed from other dealers saying this as well, because I'm feeling like we're all feeling the same thing, is any wall books that are in the over 1,000 range, those are going to be very specific to certain people that have that on their want list. So you're not going to move those as much as you did in 2021. But now it's more of the raw books that people can hold in their collection that are in the range of 100 to 500. That's probably the sweet spot. Every show is different. This show is more of a local feel. It's free admission, so people want to go and get the best bang for their buck. Not looking for huge grails, but more of raw books that are in the range of 1 to 500. I think that's probably big ones are, let's say, Silver Age. Silver Age Key is always big seller, obviously, but they still, you wouldn't have thought we're in a tough economy if you were selling at this. Like I had a buddy, he sold out.
Yeah.
4 or 5 short boxes completely sold out.
Yeah.
That doesn't feel like a tough economy in my opinion.
It was definitely a great turnout at the show, and
Absolutely.
people were spending money, and maybe people just looking to take advantage of like any deal that they found, they were jumping on it.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I'm with Hell Destroyer Comics. Oh, what's going on?
Oh, it's Swaggle House.
Hey, it's good to see you, man.
I mean, I'm standing here only with the guy that has the best comic content on YouTube. I think that's already been established.
I don't know about that. Well, I'll slip you the 20 after we stop recording. So, Hell Destroyer, we're here at Near Mint Sundays.
Yeah.
And I've been kind of going around the show asking different collectors and some of the dealers and stuff. Obviously, global economy going into more of a recession, bear market, things like that.
Don't say that. Shh. Don't
Okay,
use
I
the
won't.
R word.
I won't say the word Voldemort. That shall not be said. But I'm asking, as a collector, going into these next few months, have your buying habits changed? Have your priorities shifted? What's your kind of outlook as a collector?
Well, I am in the finance industry randomly, and when I've been through several downturns, because you see the gray hair, so right. I'm older. So, what happens in the downturns is, the rich get richer and the poor get poorer. And if you're a buyer and you have, capital it's a great time to buy. Obviously, you buy on the down, and you can get stuff that you want. Like hey,
Yeah.
he's just trying to steal my slab in this box. You notice that that the deals are getting better, but I've talked to a lot of people in the industry, and I'm in, like I said, I'm in finance. Banks are tightening up, hedge funds are tightening up, everyone's being more cautious, but rare collectibles and hard assets is a really good place to put money. And if you see what's going on in the auction houses, and even here, I mean, I've been watching major amounts of cash being exchanged. I just saw a guy with 50 grand in cash just buy a book, just lay it out on the table. Yeah. So for people looking to put money, people that have money and need a safe harbor for money, rare collectibles, I mean, there's guys like Dan Bongino, and he preaches it all the time, that's a really good safe harbor for cash right now. And, people that need to sell are going to sell a little cheaper, and people that want to buy, like me, are going to be able to get, I just got my first FVF 48. It's a 2.5. It's not great, but
it's a great
the price
book,
I got was incredible.
Yeah. So taking advantage of these dips, taking advantage of the buying opportunities, things like that.
And I don't know that the dip is even that crazy for rare collectibles and comics, because, I have people on the inside in Hollywood that are close to the DC world, and there's billions of dollars going into DC movies right now.
That's true.
All right, and Elveen says, he teaches school, and 20% of the kids are wearing Captain America shirts and stuff, and and those movies just keep breaking box office records. Even during pandemic, coming out of the pandemic, box office records are still being broken. Multiverse of Madness got heated up some of the Doctor Strange books for a little bit. And I think it's going to continue. It has nowhere to go but up, because when I was reading comics, everyone looked at me like, what are you, some freaking dork or something?
Right.
Because I had an imagination, and the things I was reading in the page of the comics, I could imagine in my mind, and now people without an imagination could just go to the movie and see it as it was happening in our minds. Right, and now they realize, wow, this is super cool. Like, yeah, we told you about that when I was reading comic books 50 years ago.
Yeah, whoever thought that we were actually going to see the Avengers on screen.
Yeah,
Crazy.
Well, the Avengers, and then, Silver Sable.
Right, Moon Knight.
What's her name, Sweeney?
Sydney Sweeney.
Yeah. Just cast as Silver Sable. So, like, the most rare and obscure characters are going to keep driving these prices, these books up, and add value to the books, not just from the movie standpoint, but from a pop culture standpoint. So rare collectible, this place is packed full of people. Everyone's spending money on comics. It's almost like they're recession proof a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
All right, well, Hell Destroyer, thanks so much, man.
Swaggle House, #1 on YouTube, the best. People might have more followers, but they're not as interesting as Swaggle House with content and value. Hell Destroyer Comics. Oh!
All right, I'm with Christian from Elveen's Comics once again.
What is up, friends? Support Swaggle. That's my guy. Support the comic creators. They're the soul of it. My man Swaggle. Get your swaggle on.
All right, I'll Venmo you that $100. All right, so Christian,
yes, sir.
we're here Near Mint Sundays.
Okay.
I've been going around the show talking to different collectors, different dealers.
Cool.
And basically what I've been asking is global economy, global market.
Okay.
A little bit of a bear market, maybe
Sure.
going into recession.
Okay.
But still a good turnout here. People buying books, and the question I'm sort of asking
Lots
is,
of books. We've been refilling the holes all day, and we can't even refill the holes.
Yeah.
We've been selling a ton of books.
So my question to you, I guess, as from a dealer perspective, is,
All right.
what are you noticing, if anything, of people's difference of buying now in this market versus, say, a year ago? Like, are you seeing people going for bigger keys, people going for the cheaper dollar books? Like, what's your feeling right now?
Great question.
Yeah.
Can I answer it a couple ways?
Yeah.
Okay. Can I talk about Instagram? Is that okay? Okay.
Absolutely.
So this Tuesday will be our 225th IG sale since the pandemic. 225 live claim sales. There's a big difference now than there was the beginning.
Right.
The beginning of the pandemic, people were sitting at home, they had nowhere to go. They could sit around for 3 hours, and I was their entertainment, right? Me, best friend, wife, my kids. Now we're out again, so that has changed. if you're asking me specifically about buying, what are people buying? I think it's very, very similar. I've had guys that have come in with big lists, paper, and they're still run filling.
Right.
Don't let no one tell you run fillers are dead. That's a lie. You got to go to the shows, and I'm not trying to pump it, but talk to people like me that deal with real money, people buying comic books.
Right.
There are lots of run fillers. Now, a lot of people that are, hope this is not hateful, it's not trying to be,
No.
new to the hobby, they watch shows like yours, which are great, and they like, I want the key book, right? Which is cool, right? So I do a lot of education, where someone's like, okay, I saw this book, I do have it, yes. What's this book? Oh, this book is this, and this is what it is. And it's about information.
Right.
So I think people, listen, the first appearance is always the first appearance. There are certain keys that are always keys. I try to call them forever keys, right?
Right.
So what's a forever key? We all know what forever keys are. Captain America 100. That's a forever key.
Great
it's
book.
always going to be a great book.
Best
right?
character ever.
You heard it right here. Quote him.
Top 3.
Swaggle. What's a new key? Some Miss Marvel book of some character. Jane Foster. First Clandestine. Those are new books.
Yeah.
Can Jane Foster Thor become a forever book?
Maybe.
I'm not saying it's not, and I'm not saying it is.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
I don't know. What I will always say, you heard me say before, people, buy what you like. You buy what you like, it doesn't matter, because it's forever your book.
Right.
I think going forward, I will tell you that I'm a buyer. I'm a buyer. I'm trying to buy books because here's a secret. I'm going to give a big secret, not a secret, but everyone in the room, every person, you know what they have in common? You know what they have in common? They all got money. You know what they don't have? A Captain America 100. Which would you rather have? Money or Captain America 100? I will rather have a stack of Captain America 100s than a stack of cash.
Right.
Because everyone's got cash.
Right.
So as you go forward, if you're sort of asking my opinion on the buying habits and maybe applying to what you think in comic book viewer YouTube swaggle land, buy what you like, but I don't see it going nowhere.
Yeah.
Right? I don't see it going nowhere. Captain America 100 is a forever book. If you think Jane Foster Thor is a forever book, you love Natalie Portman, get it. I collect Scarlet Witch. Recently I've done that. Now I'm just after everything Scarlet Witch, right? Because there's emotions attached to that with me and my kids and my wife.
Right.
So I'm collecting Scarlet Witch books. I'm collecting books I've sold so many times, now I'm buying them to put in my collection.
Right.
Because there's emotion involved.
Right.
The emotion with comic books is never going to stop. It's always going to be.
Yeah.
But when this guy, come over, guy.
Okay.
When this dude right here, look at this guy's hair. Look at this random guy's hair. All right, get out of here. When he watches the She-Hulk show, that She-Hulk show is now ingrained in him. It's part of his upbringing. It's part of his pop culture. It's part of his memory time.
Yeah.
In 20 years, maybe not him, but homie's friend is gonna want that She-Hulk book.
Right.
Right? So you have to have that long view.
Yeah.
When you've been in it as long as I've been in it, man, I'm old, I'm viejo. You know what I'm saying? You gotta have the long view.
Yeah.
There's still run buyers, there's still key buyers. Again, buy what you like. If you want to read comics and get your runs going, right? If you want to get those keys, you know? I'm looking for an X-Men 4. I don't have the Wanda book. And I'm like, my friends have said, Christian, what grade do you want? Grade. And I go, I'll know it when I see it. If it's going to be a low grade 2.5 and it speaks to me, I'll get it. If I'm dropping 10 grand on it, not to pump my collar, but I'll drop the 10 grand on it.
Right.
Because that's what I'm going to want.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Just the right book for you at
the
that
right book
time.
for me, but I'm also putting Wanda books in a short box that I want now. Because it is, I want that now. So I'm both. I'm run filling and I'm key hunting.
Right.
And I sell comics. Get on the bandwagon, kids. Let's go!
Get on the bandwagon. All right. Well, Christian, thank you so much, man. Always a pleasure.
Swaggle.
Yeah. We'll see you at the next show.
At the next show.
Later. All right, well, I'm with Hoodrat Comics. Hoodrat, what's going on, man?
What's up, Mickey?
We're here at Near Mint Sundays. And so, Hoodrat, I've been kind of going around asking everybody, collecting here, what kind of books are they looking for? Obviously, we're going into kind of a bear market, going into a little bit of a recession. Maybe some of the spending habits are shifting. For you as a collector, how has your comic book buying changed, or is it changing in these next few months?
Well, like I've said before, on different shows, I'm buying anything 6.0 and under and looking for the deals.
Right.
I'm looking at the sticker price and I'm asking for 20 to 30% more off.
Right.
Because right now is the time we should be buying. It's a hard time for everybody. I think inflation has got everybody by the balls.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I've been saving money for this,
Right.
because there's a lot of books I want. And they were way too expensive prior, and right now they're manageable.
Right.
They're super manageable.
And you're, what I've heard, you're kind of aggressively, from a buyer's positioning, you're asking for 20% under their thing. You're throwing out offers and seeing if they bite on that.
And they do. They do. If you ask for 20 to 30% off, everybody kind of knows we're in that bear market of comics and collectibles and even investments, and people want the money because maybe they want to reinvest it in something else, so it's a good time to do it. It's a good time to be a buyer. It's a real good buyer's market.
Right.
Yeah.
And then obviously here at the show, you're actually selling some of your own stuff. What have you noticed so far, if you've noticed anything, people buying from you? Are people kind of focused on some of the dollar books, people focused on the wall books? What do you feel?
It's rangy, man. It's super rangy. We've been selling a lot of, I have a $2 book party here.
Yeah.
A lot of people have been buying $2 books, but we also sold a giant size X-Men.
Right.
Yeah, so the range is still there.
Right.
And he asked for a 20% discount from me, and I gave it to him.
Right.
I'll give the 20% even though it's because I understand it's a bear market.
Right.
And it was a good deal for both of us.
And you obviously want to move the book.
Yeah, I want to move the book.
Otherwise you wouldn't be selling it.
Yeah, totally.
So you're willing to take those offers.
Yeah.
All right, well, Hoodrat, thanks so much for that insight, and I hope you have a great rest of the show.
Thanks, Mickey. The man.
All right, so I'm with Javid here at Near Mint Sunday. Javid, what's going on, man?
Hey, what's going on, everyone?
All right, so Javid, so I've been going around asking people at the show, various collectors, obviously global economy, we're going into kind of a bear market, maybe a recession. As a comic collector and a seller and a buyer and everything, what's your thought process going into the next few months or years? Has your buying shifted? Are you thinking about buying the dip? What's your overall feeling?
So I think that, I think buy the dip actually is a great idea. I think buying the dip on key grails and Silver Age, Golden Age, hard to find comics are probably the best thing. That's where I'm putting my money into. I've kind of stayed away from moderns, actually.
Right. Avoiding moderns, probably, I assume, avoiding some of the more spec-ish stuff,
Yes.
going to more like the blue chips.
Blue chips, early Silver Age Marvel, a lot of the key DCs, Golden Age, pre-code horror. Oh my God.
Yeah.
I'll take that all day.
Yeah. Definitely. And is that stuff that you're buying to for your own personal collection? Are you focusing on the stuff that you personally want to get, or are you just looking for good opportunities, good deals when they come?
Both, a little bit of both, actually. Yeah, I'd rather. I'm a big time collector as well, so I'd rather have it in my PC. But if the opportunity comes up, I'll do either one.
Right. And obviously too, you're today at the show. You're selling.
Mm-hmm.
What have you noticed? Some of the buying habits here? Are people more focused on the smaller books?
Yeah.
Some of the wall books. What have you noticed?
So dollar books, part of inflation, people are looking for bargains.
Yeah.
So they're looking for $1 books, $2 books, $5 books, and that seems to be what's really selling. We've sold some grails though. We sold an X-Men giant size 1.
Okay.
And so we sold some grails, but it's far and few in between.
Yeah.
Those are big money books.
Yeah,
so.
people a little more hesitant to get to the 4-figure range.
Exactly. Yeah.
My buying practices are the same, honestly, since I started collecting in the 80s. I was buying off the stands, 70s, 60s, but I look for the vintage keys. I'm always going to look for vintage keys. You need to buy the best quality old book you can, and with the most recognizable superhero. Let's face it, we all need early Spider-Man. We all need early Evan. That will not change.
What have you noticed from the buyers here at the show? Like, do you feel like people are a little more hesitant to buy, say, a 4-figure book? Maybe they're looking for that $20 key, the $5 key. Have you noticed any trends in that sense?
Well, I think the trend of buyers is for them to get a deal, whatever they're looking for.
Right.
I've had people certainly make offers, and I say I can't do better. I try to meet them halfway, but I can't do it on everything. There's no deals on the super keys. There just isn't.
Right.
I paid probably 90%. I want to make 15%, 20%, so I'm at market on those. But the trends for buyers seem to be to fill their want list and complete runs, especially Bronze Age runs. That is the new Silver Age. The Bronze Age is where the new money is coming in. They're filling up their Submariners because there's hints about Submariner. They're filling up their web of Spider-Man, their amazing Spider-Mans. They're looking for mid-run, as high a grade as they can afford. That's what I know. So are 4-figure comics selling? Yes, but only 1 out of every 50 person is going to spend 4 figures. But he came in to spend 4 figures.
Right.
He came in here specifically.
Right.
And he says, I'm not going to leave if I don't find it. Just so you know, I'm not leaving until I find that book.
Right.
So the idea is that if you have to buy soon and buy before it goes up too high. That's the trend.
Right.
And that's going to be the trend for everything right down the line. Right down the line. And I mean from $20 and up. They're all going to get more expensive. The sooner you get them, the better it is.
Well, the party was getting lit and my microphone needed a break, so unfortunately I wasn't able to get the audio for our remaining interviews, but I did still feel like it was important to share their perspectives. And Ripstick Comics here, otherwise known as Cameron, he felt like now was going to be a really good time to buy some of those big grail books that he felt like he was never going to be able to afford, taking advantage of those dips. John, who had hooked me up with the Plan Man book at the last show, had a great perspective. He felt like now was going to be a great time to pick up all of those Dark Hawk keys. No, I'm just kidding. John felt like this was going to be a good time to really focus on high-grade books that usually command those premium prices. Katie had mentioned that her buying habits haven't really changed. She still is hopelessly addicted to buying comic books, but she did feel like taking advantage of some of those deals and some of those prices was just going to be good for her as a collector. Efren from Passpoint Comics felt like now was going to be a really good time to make trades with dealers. He had actually made a huge trade at the show, picking up an Avengers 1, and he felt like now was going to be a good time to kind of look at your collection, focus on what books you really want to buy, what books you want to trade for, and get those books that you always really wanted. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, hearing the different perspectives. Obviously, as comic book collectors, we have no control over what's happening with the global economy, so I think the best thing to do is always to just buy what you like, collect what you like, and to put it in the words of my good friend over at Como Comic Books, collect responsibly, especially in this market. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next video.